Welcome to Building Skills Related to Managing Emotions, Establishing and Maintaining Positive Relationships, and Responsible Decision Making. I am Rita Olivier, and today I would like to explore social and emotional learning practices that can be integrated into your classroom. Let's start with our learning intentions. Understanding what social and emotional learning, SEL, is, identifying and recognizing SEL's 5 core competencies, understanding why SEL matters, exploring ways to implement SEL's 5 core competencies in the classroom. So let's get started. What is social emotional learning? SEL is the process through which all young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, and achieve personal and collective goals. Feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. What are the goals of social and emotional learning? Work to build positive, preventive, and supportive school climate. Focus on student outcomes related to social and emotional competence, and promote educational equity and excellence through school, family, and community partnerships. So why teach SEL in schools? Because it lowers stress levels, it helps increase academic success, it motivates students to achieve goals, promote positive relationships and attitudes, prevents negative behavior of students, and it can help address various forms of inequity, empower young people and adults to co-create thriving schools and contribute to safe, healthy, and just communities. Why do your social emotional skills matter? Social emotional skills not only improve academic outcomes and classroom behavior for students, it can also have a positive impact on our own personal and professional success as educators. To teach SEL, we need to be aware of and develop our own social emotional skills. When we are successful, we are able to model and teach those skills to our students. We take a closer look at CASEL's SEL framework. There are 4 SEL key settings. They are classrooms, schools, families, caregivers, and communities. All are important for establishing equitable learning environments and coordinating practices to enhance all students' social, emotional, and academic learning. These coordinated efforts should foster youth voice, agency, and engagement, establish supportive classroom and school climates, approaches to discipline, enhance adult SEL competence, and establish authentic family and community partnerships. SEL can be a powerful lever for creating caring, just, inclusive, and healthy communities that support all individuals in reaching their fullest potential. Systemic implementation of SEL both fosters and depends upon an equitable learning environment where all students and adults feel respected, valued, and affirmed in their individual interests, talents, social identities, cultural values, and backgrounds. While SEL alone will not solve long lasting and deep seated inequities in the education system, it can help schools promote understanding, examine biases, reflect on and address the impact of racism, build cross cultural relationships, and cultivate adult and student practices that close opportunity gaps and create a more inclusive school community. By doing so, schools can promote high quality educational opportunities and outcomes for all students, irrespective of race, socioeconomic status, gender, sexual orientation, and other differences. Social and emotional core competencies are based on building a positive, preventive, and supportive school climate, focusing on student outcomes related to social and emotional competence, and promoting educational equity and excellence through school, family, and community partnerships to establish learning environments and experiences that feature trusting and collaborative relationships. Research has shown that an effective SEL process requires students and adults to have the ability to demonstrate five basic core competencies, and they are self awareness, self management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision making. The first core competence is self awareness, which is the ability to recognize and understand how our emotions, our thoughts, our values impact our behavior across contexts. Through an equity lens, self awareness can help adults and students recognize biases, understand how race and ethnicity impact your sense of self and personal identity, and reflect on what it means to be part of a group or community. Teaching self awareness is important because having a healthy self awareness promotes emotional wellness and self esteem, as well as the ability to recognize your own strengths and challenges. It provides students insight into who they are and why they react as they do, and gives them a direction for self improvement. So, what exactly does self awareness look like? It is the ability to identify and express our emotions, recognize our strengths and our challenges, having an accurate self perception and self confidence, exhibiting a growth mindset and self efficacy in the classroom, in school, at home, and in the community. Teaching self awareness might sound like, how am I feeling and why? Or, when am I at my best? Or, why do I feel angry? What kind of person I want to be today? What stresses me out? Where do I fit into my family and commitment? We can practice self awareness in the classroom by acknowledging your own emotions and how your emotions play into your actions, explicitly naming the skills you're using as you model them, viewing students as partners in developing social emotional skills, and creating opportunities for success for yourself and your students. The second core competence is self management, which is the ability to manage one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors effectively in different situations to achieve goals and aspirations. Through an equity lens, self management can help adults and students manage the stress associated with adapting to a new school climate or culture, cope with discrimination, and come up with individual and collective solutions in the face of challenges. Teaching self management is important because it allows students the ability to regulate their emotions, their thoughts, and behaviors in different situations, effectively manage stress, control their impulses, and set and work toward personal and academic goals. Observable signs of self management is when we see capacities to delay gratification, manage stress, and feel motivation and agency to accomplish personal and collective goals. In the classroom, teaching self management skills might sound like students expressing questions and statements such as, I don't understand yet, but I will continue to reach my goal. I need a break right now. May I please have my space? I'm not ready to share, and I think I need help with completing my assignment. Practicing self management in the classroom is when you model your own emotions, thoughts, and behaviors and explain the why behind what you're doing. Setting goals to teach students how to set life goals. Make a plan to plan strategies to achieve their goals. Keep checklists and rubrics. Plan intentional time for students to use to assess themselves and their peers to help manage tasks and to keep constant momentum in the learning process. The third core competence is social awareness, which is the ability to understand the perspectives of and empathize with others. including those from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and contexts. Through an equity lens, social awareness can help adults and students navigate norms in diverse social settings, recognize issues of race and class in different settings, understand power dynamics, and come up with ways to create a positive school climate that honors diversity. Teaching social awareness is important because it helps create and maintain a caring learning environment and makes an effort to understand building trusting relationships and value students' experiences and emotions, to increase students' emphasis on pro-social values, and to encourage cooperation for the greater enjoyment of learning. Signs of social awareness are having the capacity to feel compassion for others, understand historical and social norms for behavior in different settings, and recognize family, school, and community resources and supports. In the classroom, teaching social awareness skills sounds like students use the ability to relate to other perspectives. Sounds like I wonder how that made Johnny feel when he dropped his lunch tray. Students have the ability to appreciate diversity of others. Sound like how would I feel at recess? No one wanted to play with me. And students recognize and understand social behavior norms. Sounds like they seem sad right now. Maybe I should invite them to play with me at recess. Methods of practicing social awareness may be building a classroom community that values the collective good and concern for other people, creating space and norms for you and your students to talk about how hearing a new perspective changed your point of view, asking for students' feelings and perspectives on the classroom environment. The fourth core competency is relationship skills, which is the ability to establish and maintain healthy and supportive relationships and to effectively navigate settings with diverse individuals and groups. Through an equity lens, relationship skills means that adults and students can navigate cultural differences, form relationships with people from different backgrounds in a way that honors their culture, and solve problems across race, culture, gender, and social lines. Teaching relationship skills are important because it enables us to make and maintain healthy relationships with individuals and diverse groups through listening, conflict resolution, and communication that we can help navigate relationships both in and out of the classroom. Some signs of relationship skills are when we have the capacity to communicate clearly, listen actively, cooperate, work collaboratively to problem solve, negotiate conflict constructively, navigate setting with differing social and cultural demands and opportunities, provide leadership, and seek or offer help when needed. In the classroom, teaching relationship skills may sound like, when you shared your experiences, it made me feel happy. Can you explain what you mean by growth mindset? I disagree with you because it makes me feel sad. Some ways of practicing relationship skills in the classrooms are to allow students to reflect on their own thinking patterns and relationships, actively listen to others, and focus on building trust and a sense of belonging. The fifth core competency is probably the most important of all and requires all of the other competencies. It is responsible decision making skills, which is the ability to make caring and constructive choices about personal behavior and social interactions across diverse situations. Through an equity lens, responsible decision making skills can help adults and students make decisions that are inclusive and equitable, understand the systemic implications of different outcomes, and reflect on how actions and decisions can impact equity. Teaching responsible decision making is extremely important because it draws on colleagues' knowledge and experiences to make choices, and it allows for students an opportunity to have choices about their learning and choices and chances to make decisions about how to manage their time, how to show what they have learned, and how to navigate social relationships when working with their peers. Responsible decision making is present when you see the capacity to consider ethical standards and safety concerns and to evaluate the benefits and consequences of various actions for personal, social, and collective well being. In the classroom, teaching responsible decision making skills sound like reflecting and making strong choices about consequences of their actions, as well as taking ethical responsibility for their decisions and outcomes. Some ways to practice responsible decision making in the classrooms include sharing with students your own process as you make decisions and explaining the why behind them, and you can seek out and provide access to diverse role models who have similar experiences as the students in your class. So, if campuses embrace and are committed to teaching, modeling, and practicing the 5 core SEL competencies, great things are attainable, like connectedness can be achieved, which can lead to wellness, which can lead to mindfulness, which can lead to equity and excellence in schools and families and communities.